If you've been looking for something fun to get the girls together and have a little bit of downtime, have some time to chat, have a snack, and do something fun, paint parties are the way to go. I will tell you, back when my husband was in the military and he was deployed, I was home a lot with two little kids, and I needed something to take my mind off of being lonely and just sick of the laundry and the dishes because it's never ending. So once a month, I would get my friends together and we would do a paint party or a craft project together. And so if you've been kind of mulling over this idea, maybe thinking of doing this, let's talk about it. This is a really great way to get the moms together, to have something fun to do, allow you time to chat, decompress, just really relax. So let's get into it. The first thing you're going to need to know is, what is a door hanger party? If you don't even know what a door hanger is, you may be thinking it's those little do not disturb things that you hang on your hotel room door. No, it is the cute little thing hanging up behind me. You can hang this on your front door. You can hang up anywhere in your house, honestly, and you paint them, and it's really relaxing. And it's also a fun way to kind of decorate your house. I started out doing these probably about 13 years ago. And the very first door hanger that I painted was a snowman. And I cut it out myself using a jigsaw. I got my dad to show me how to do it. I just drew the shape of the snowman on a piece of plywood. And once I had one of them cut out, I just used that as my template and I cut out more. But things are so much easier now because we have templates available for you in our shop. So you don't have to learn how to draw. You just have to print out the template, trace it on the wood, cut it out, or take the shortcut method and order the wood blanks from us. But we'll get to that in just a minute. So gather your friends together and come together for a fun little craft night. Now, Thanksgiving is coming up. If you don't want to do this as a mom's night in, another option would be doing this around the dinner table after we've done the Thanksgiving dishes. It's a great way to kind of have something fun for the ladies to do while the guys are watching football. My favorite part about doing these kinds of events are that it allows everyone to just relax. As moms, a lot of times we're a little overstimulated, a little overwhelmed, a little stretched thin. We've been doing all the things for everybody else, and we don't usually take time to do things for ourselves. So this allows you to kind of slow down your mind, because you can't paint in an erratic way. I mean, you could, but it probably wouldn't turn out very good. It allows you to just relax. So turn on some great music, have some friends around you, and it's going to foster connections with your friends, because it's going to allow you time to talk while your hands are busy. Because a lot of times as moms, we feel like we've got to be doing something. We can't just be sitting around and chatting all the time. Or at least that's how I feel. I feel like I have to be hyper productive all the time. So to be able to sit and paint something makes me feel like I'm still being productive while I'm chatting with my friends. So let's talk about prep for this. How are you going to prepare for a paint party? If you've never done one before, you're probably wondering, where do I even start? First, I'm going to say choose a date and a time that you think will work best for you and your friends, and pick out a design. So if you're going to paint, let's say, a pumpkin door hanger, or, well, let's see, Christmas is coming up. Maybe you're going to paint a reindeer head door hanger. We have some to choose from in our shop. You're going to decide, okay, am I going to cut this out myself using a jigsaw, like DIY method, or am I going to just go ahead and order these wood blanks in bulk? That way I can save some money, make things easy. They're already ready. So decide all those things in advance: your time, your date, your design, and whether or not you're going to cut the wood shape or buy the wood cutouts at shopdoorhangers.com. And once you know all of those things, then you're going to take the picture of the design that you want to paint and send it out by text, or maybe create a Facebook group chat or something, or make a flyer. It depends on if you're doing this with like a close-knit group of friends and family, or if you're really spreading the word. You can go as crazy with this as you want to. You can make flyers, you can make a Facebook post, or you can just keep it really intimate and send out a group text and be like, hey, I want to get some girls together to paint this reindeer design Saturday night at 7 p.m. next month or something. I say next month because I realize planning something like the following weekend might feel a little overwhelming. You're going to need time to prepare, to get your paints together, to get your wood together, to get all your supplies lined up and everything. So give yourself about at least 2 weeks in advance. At least. A month is probably better, but 2 weeks at least. So pick your date, your time, your design. Send the design out to your friends and say who all's interested, who's in. This is the cost. And so you got to figure up your cost too. When I first started doing this, if I was cutting the pieces myself, Sometimes I wouldn't charge very much at all. I might charge like $25 because I knew that would cover my supplies, right? But if you're having to order these pieces online and you're paying like, even if you're paying bulk price, you want to make sure you're covering your cost of your wood, your shipping, and then whatever you're out in paints and stuff like that. And if you're a crafty person, you may already have paints, brushes, all those things on hand, and you might not have to go out and buy very much. But so figure out what you're going to have to buy, what your cost is, and then take your cost and at least double it. At least double it. So if your cost to do this party is going to be $15 a person, at least double it and charge $30 a person. And I'm saying that just for your sanity, because there might be costs involved that you didn't think of, and you might not set out. Like when I first started doing this, it was saving my sanity to have these women in my house to craft with me once a month. So I wasn't making money doing this. I did it literally just to be like, please come hang out with me, come craft with me. I need human interaction. I need time to hang out with adults. Yes, bring your kids. They can trash my playroom. I literally told them to do that. I said, bring your kids. You don't have to have a babysitter. They can play in my kids' playroom. And of course, that playroom was trashed every time we did this, but it was worth it because it gave all these moms time to just spend time with each other and to really just have a night out, because that was really hard to come by. We weren't always able to find a babysitter. And so you can leave the babysitting decision up to yourself, whether or not you want to do that or not. But that's how I used to do it. So if you're doing this just as a way to get the girls together and, you're not doing this to make money, of course, you're going to try to keep your cost low. If you do want to turn this into a business eventually, then I would definitely charge enough that it feels like it was worth your trouble, right? So that you feel like at the end of the day, ooh, this was fun and I got to make money doing this. Now, if you're not charging enough, you may start to resent all the work that goes into it. But just doing a casual paint party at home with a group of moms, it doesn't have to be super elaborate. Just charge enough to cover your cost and then a little extra, because sometimes there are costs we don't even think about. Once you have like all your friends signed up, maybe there's 5 girls who are like, yes, count me in. I want to do this. Once you know how many people are going to be doing this, that's when you either need to start buying your wood to cut it out or ordering your wood blanks. Again, you can go to our shop at shopdoorhangers.com. We have over 1,000 different designs to choose from. The blanks are available in 5 different sizes. If you're doing door hanger size, you're going to want to choose the 18-inch size door hanger. And then on each product, you'll notice that there's a breakdown of the bulk discount costs. So if you have 10 or more guests, you're going to save 20% on the retail cost of those. So I would make your goal for how many people are going to come paint 10 people. That way, you can go ahead and order 10 of them and get the discount. Also, once you know how many people are coming, you're going to need to start planning how much paint you're going to need. You're not going to need a lot of paint for about 10 people. I will say the colors you're going to need to make sure you've got plenty of are white and black. Those are, of course, the 2 colors that you're going to need at every party that you do. Everybody always needs white and black. But like if it's a pumpkin that you're painting, you're going to need a lot of orange. If it's a reindeer, you might need a lot of brown and red. So kind of take that into account and buy some paint if you need to. Next, let's talk about our setup. Every person who's coming to the party needs to have their own little seat with a place in front of them that their door hanger can easily set on. If you have easels, that's great, but not everybody can afford to start out with easels. I never did. I usually just covered the tables with those cheap plastic tablecloths, laid out a cup of water for them to rinse their brushes in, a paper towel for them to dry their brushes, and a paper plate, like a foam paper plate, not paper, foam plate for them to put their paint on, so that all that could be thrown away at the end of the party. It's a lot easier on cleanup and it's pretty low cost. So those are the things you're going to need to have at each station. You're also going to need to have some brushes, and I would usually have a table off to the side where I keep all the paints. And so if they needed a paint refill, they would get up out of their seat, go grab a paint, some more paint, and then come back. Or if it's just a small group of friends, you could keep all the paints like in the middle of the table and you could just pass them around as needed. Baby wipes are great to keep on hand because somebody's going to get it somewhere they don't want it. And baby wipes are great for cleanup. Let's talk about preparing. Before your guests even come, maybe tell them to allow 2 to 3 hours for this party. A lot of times I think people underestimate how long it's going to take to paint a door hanger. They think, 2 hours, I'll be back home, honey. They leave the kids with the husband, and then the husband calls about an hour and a half to 2 hours in. Are you coming home soon? And she's like, No, I'm drinking wine and I'm having snacks or whatever it is. And this always happened at my paint parties. The husbands would call partway through and they'd be like, honey, are you coming home? And she'd be like, no, I'm having a blast. I'm not done painting yet. And like 4 hours later, she finally came home. So don't let that be you. Definitely have a time that you want the party to end. Unless it's just you and your girlfriends. Sometimes you guys might not care how long you go. But if you want to have a little bit of boundaries there and to know that you got to put your kids to bed at 9 o'clock, then you may need to wrap it up by 8:30. So plan to start early enough that it's going to allow you 2 to 3 hours to complete this project. So tell them to allow that amount of time. Tell them to wear old clothes or an apron to protect their clothing. And then when they get there, just remind them, hey, this doesn't have to be perfect. We're just doing this to have fun and relax. So give yourself permission to mess up. It's okay. It's just paint. We can paint over it. Something else that might be a little handy to have nearby is a printed picture of the project that you're painting. And I'm not saying you have to have this for every person at the table, but to just have a couple of them printed out laying on the table, it's good for a visual. Otherwise, people are grabbing their phones and they're pulling up the picture on their phone. And the next thing you know, they're surfing TikTok or something like that, or they can't find the picture. It's just handy to have the picture printed out on the table so they have a visual to follow. And if you really want to take it up a notch, you could ask everybody to bring a covered dish or a dessert. You could come up with a theme for this night. You could ask them to wear themed clothing or something like that. Or if you want to keep it low key, just play some music. Keep it kind of light and just fun and relaxing. If you really want to take it up a notch, you could also have some giveaways or things like that. These are just some ideas. These are definitely not things that I implemented back when I was having ladies in my home. A lot of times we kept it super simple. Everybody brought like a finger food item, and then we would eat, and then we'd sit down to paint. The kids would tear up the playroom, and then everybody would take their door hanger and go home. But one thing I don't want you to forget is to take lots of pictures during the process, after the process. Get a group photo. Take a photo of each individual person with their door hangers. This is helpful for so many reasons. Number one, you've made memories. You want to document that. Number two, you might decide to turn this into a business. So all those pictures are going to be really helpful to have on hand for the day that you decide to start teaching paint party business, having a paint party business, or selling door hangers or something like that. It's just social proof that you know what you're doing. And if you need more advice on doing paint parties or setup or any of that, I have several blog posts over on the website that will help you through all of this. So I'm going to put a link for that down in the description for you. You can go and peruse. There's even information about kids parties and paint party tips and things like that. So go check that out over on our website. And again, you can shop for wood blanks at our website at shopdoorhangers.com. You can get a bulk discount if you order 10 or more of any particular design. And of course, if you have a paint party, if this content was helpful for you, definitely share it on social media, tag us, let us know how it went. I'm excited to see how your parties go. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can hear more about door hanger painting, because we drop a new video every Wednesday with helpful content to help you on your painting journey. I will see you next time. Happy painting!